Hey y'all, this is Kasey from Pizzazz, and we are back again today with our super fun, cute little drawing. We have been trying to release lots of these over the past month or so. We have tried to keep the supplies as simple as possible because we know that everybody is limited on where you can go shop. I mean, Hobby Lobby is closed, Michael's, you kind of have to order and let them bring it out to you, but even then, sometimes you can't find what you're looking for, so things are just really hard. So we have tried to keep things super simple. The supplies that we are using can be found at Walmart, or for the most part, even your CVS. I have not seen CVS or Walgreens have watercolor paper, but they may. So what we are using: a pencil and a Sharpie. Both of those can be found at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, any of those places that are still open. Washable markers. In particular, we are using Crayola Super Tips. We just love the variety of color that comes in those. And they just work really well. Again, you can find them at any of the places that are still open. And then we are using watercolor paper. Now, it is important to have watercolor paper because otherwise, if it's copy paper, the colors are not going to blend like this. And this watercolor paper, it's got some thickness to it. So when the water is on it, it doesn't like crumple up and get messy. You know what I mean? Like if you're just using copy paper, you could easily tear a hole through it with just adding the water. So I'm going to show you a picture of this, okay? So this is the watercolor paper that I get oftentimes. So again, they do have this at Walmart, Canson watercolor, and I look right down here, and I like it to be 140 pounds. That's going to be a thick paper. So hey y'all, I see a lot of y'all back again, and we are excited that y'all are with us. So today, in addition to this, over off camera, what you don't see is I do have a cup of water and just some brushes. All right, now we are going to draw one simple giraffe, but then you get to personalize it however you want to. So you see that over here, we've got the giraffe with cute glasses and a bow tie, and over here, we've got the flower garland and the hair. So there's different ways that you can do this. You will probably come up with something even, totally different than this, and that's okay too. We want to show you how you can start with one idea and then build from it. We're going to start with a pencil, and we're going to start with the basic oval shape. Now, the oval, please look at this. It's kind of in the middle of the page, or you could even go a little higher than the middle. Like on this one, it's a little bit higher than the middle, okay? So the middle or a little higher. So here we go. Here's my middle. I'm going to go up a little higher. And with my pencil, I'm going to do an oval. Okay. Next up, I'm just going to do a big curve. Now, when I do this curve, I don't want to go to the tip top because I've got to leave a little bit of room up here. But I'll start about here. Oh, I went probably a little closer than I should have up there. It'll be all right though. And see how I just I changed my mind and went a little bit fatter. So you can always, that's why you draw lightly when you are first doing this, because if you make any mistakes, you can just go back in there and erase it. Or not mistakes, but you just might change your mind on how big you want something. All right, so we start with those two basic shapes. Now we are going to do, it is going to be a straight line, but it's not going to come straight down. It's going to go kind of out at an angle. So I'll start here. Kind of angle. Now we've got the ears, which are just going to be curve, 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 curve. All right, so I'm going to let you get caught up on that. This is kind of basic shape. And then we are going to build on this depending on what you want to do. All right, so let's go back and look at a few things. Look at the eyes. The eyes in these two are different. One is just a curved line and got the little eyelashes, and it kind of looks like it might be smiling and squinty and cute. And this one's got the big wide eyes opened, okay? They're just two different ways to draw eyes. Now there's a lot of other ways too, but these are just two. So you're gonna pick, how do you want to draw those eyes? Okay, so I'm going to just do my curve. I'm gonna be doing this one for this sample, okay? But I'm gonna be talking you through the other two. So I'm gonna do curve, curve, and then throw those little eyelashes out, okay? Then I'll put some little cheeks on it since it's a girl. Now let's also look at the mouth. This mouth is big all the way across, and this one just kind of has half of it. What do you notice about that? Because to me, when I see half of this mouth like this, it looks like a little smirk. It kind of looks like he's up to something, or maybe he's snickering at something, and there's all kinds of things that he might be thinking about, okay? So like a little, he might be thinking. Where she just looks like giddy and happy. So all it is it's leaving off part of the line, but it changes the whole feel of it. So you want to think, okay, how I'm going to do my mouth? You can choose, okay? So choose how you want to do your mouth, and go ahead and let's get that mouth in. Then if you want to do your little nostril-y things. Okay, next we are going to, I don't have a lot of room here, just 2 lines in a circle, 2 lines in a circle. That's going to be on both of them, both giraffes. And then it comes time to embellish, okay? So we're going to embellish before we add our giraffe spots. So on this one, we just embellished with some big kind of square-ish, really thick shapes around the eyes and just connected it. Okay, that's all it was. It was just a big squares. They could also be circles. They could be however you want them to be. They could be, another little tip, let's say you drew your eyes and you didn't like them. Well, you could black it out. They could be wearing sunglasses, okay? So there's lots of different ways. So for this one, the 2 embellishments that I did was the glasses around the eye, which is just shape. And then I came down here and did the bow tie, which is just a circle. And we did the shape on either side, okay? So that's this one. Over here, I did flowers. Now I did them kind of big up here so that I wouldn't be painting a lot of things too close. And they're kind of overlapping. So I'll show you how I did that. So just right up here, circle and big curves. Circle and big kind of curves around it. And I'm gonna have to erase some of this stuff behind it, and I know that, okay? And like back here, it's gonna overlap. So you can do those big flowers like that. And then if you want a little bit of garland, I know it's hard to see. Let me do it with my Sharpie so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so all this stuff that's behind those, I'm going to erase. But let's say I wanted just a little bit of greenery coming out, then I could just do a line like this, and then like this, and then just draw shape on either side. So I'm just drawing these little shapes on either side, and that will look like the little greenery sticking out. Okay, so that was mainly all the embellishment I did here. So after you've got your pieces drawn, and you've got your embellishment, these are just ideas right here. I'm not wanting you to try to do 2 at one time. But you've got your main design drawn. You've done your embellishment. Now we're going to put those spots on, and then we'll be ready to outline with a Sharpie. So these giraffe spots are just going to be really kind of irregular. We're going to come over, kind of start on the side, and kind of have an irregular shape here, irregular there. And I wouldn't do too many more. Now, if you can fit any up here, like on this one, I couldn't really fit much more without it being crowded. But on my fella, I had enough room, and I just did like 3 shapes right there. Do you see that? Just 3 little shapes. So if you have room, add it. If not, no big deal. And then you are going to just simply start tracing with your permanent marker. Okay, now remember, if there are lines behind these flowers, I'm not tracing those. I'm going to erase those later because the flowers are in front of everything else. So I do not want to trace that. I cannot wait to see what y'all are doing, okay? Because I know there are a lot of ideas going on out there. A lot of ideas on different things that you can do, maybe different ways to make the tie, or maybe you have a different kind of tie, or maybe you have a scarf around instead of a tie, or maybe you have a top hat, or a ball cap, or sunglasses. I don't know. I'm excited to see. I think these are going to be a lot of fun personalities that y'all create here. All right. So I've got everything on with my markers. One thing I'm noticing that I did a little bit different, that I like it better here than here. I put the eyes a little bit lower on this one, and I kind of like that better. But I'm not going to fret about it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got to redo it. It's just I'm noticing it. It's important when you're doing art to notice the little things like that, so that the next time that you do it, you're like, oh yeah, I know that I like eyes a little bit lower on the head. Okay, so you don't get mad at yourself. You don't think, oh, I'm no good. You just notice it, so that you can get better next time. All right, so I'm erasing my pencil lines. And now we are going to think about our border. Let me do this. Okay, so with your border, I really want you to have fun with it, okay? So if you've watched us before, we do a lot of fun things like stripes and, let me get a better eraser, like stripes and zigzags and polka dots, and all of that is great, and you can do that in the background. But you can also, if you want to get a little fancier, instead of just polka dots, you could kind of take whatever you've embellished with and use it for your border. So for example, on this one, we did little flowers. Since we did flower crown, we used flowers as our border. On this one, since I was thinking, okay, I'm not real sure, but instead of plain polka dots, why don't we do these little giraffe spots? And we can color them however we want to color them, but you notice this is how I did it. I started on the side and I just did an irregular shape, and I changed the sizes. Like I did a big one and then a small one. Medium, small, small, medium, big, small. So I just changed the sides. They were always coming from the edge of the paper. And then I went back in and kind of filled in some of these openings with an irregular little giraffe shape. And you can even pull up on the internet a giraffe pattern to look at it as you were drawing it, and it will help you a lot too. All right, so if you want to do the flowers, I'll show you how we did that. So we just started with a circle and simple flowers, and we just spaced these out all around. Okay, so we're not doing too many of them, because if they're too small, they're just hard to maneuver. Okay, and then in between them, we are just adding curly cues. Like, so I'll go from here and do a little curly, curly, curly. See that? So it's not really anything except filler. Okay, so instead of doing all of that with pencil first, I'm just going to go ahead, grab my Sharpie, and be outlining that right now too. All right, so this was a little bit longer than some of ours before, just because we got a few steps and we are kind of teaching two at one time. So I'm going around just outlining these, but remember, you don't have to do flowers, but you can. You can be as creative as you want. If you love those polka dot, which y'all know I love polka dot backgrounds. So if you're not into doing something on the border, go ahead and fill in all kinds of polka dots. It's a-okay. Okay, now I'm going to come do this. And this is just kind of like greenery-ish, okay? All right, so we've got our drawing. So now it is time to add our watercolor. All right, so it's really gonna be our washable markers that we turn into watercolors. So here we go. I'm going to, if you've not seen this technique before, it's one of our favorites. So we use washable watercolors, and we really lay the pigment on thick. So what I mean by that is we don't use the tip like this. This is not enough pigment, okay? You have got to turn it on its side. You don't have to color every area, okay? That's why we like this. We can kind of quickly add color, but you do need to have it on its side. And even if it feels like it's all dried out, once you add water to it, it will do what you want it to do. Now on this part right here, you can either do it orange or a combination. So on this one we did orange, this one we did yellow and orange. So either way is fine. I think we'll do a combo this time. Okay, if I do this orange, I'm only going to do it kind of around the edges. so it looks a little bit different than the other parts of the body. Now, if you were judging my coloring right now, you might be like, you can't color too good. We are not trying to stay in the lines. We are just adding on some pigment. All right, I forgot to do our little ears up here. All right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it all in. I'm gonna kind of work quickly, but I'm gonna go ahead and do all of my color. So I'm doing the outside of my flowers, the inside of my flowers. I'll come back with another color and I'll do the outside and the inside. And notice I'm not filling it in solid. Do a little green over here. Again, doesn't have to be solid, it's just a touch of color. And then you can do these giraffe spots however you want. You see that I did blue here just to be funky and fun. On this one we did brown, so either or is fine. Do whatever colors you want. So I'm gonna grab my blue and just kind of using the side of my marker, laying the pigment on. And then I'm going to come get my water. All right, so I'm gonna use my big brush first and do my bigger areas. So I'll do my yellows. Do y'all see? Ta-da! I got a little too close right there to that blue, but that's okay. And just turns it into watercolor. It makes it so cool. So a lot of y'all that are watching, I know, are in our kids club that we just opened up, and y'all are doing fantastic. And if you are not in our kids club, and if you want information on that, let me know. That is it's a private membership where it just goes a little bit deeper, a little bit more things that we can do inside the membership. We have 2 different age groups, so 5 to 9 and 10 to 13. So y'all, I've been trying to post some of their pictures. They're doing a fabulous job. A lot of y'all I know are on here watching right now and doing this along with us too. And I'm super proud of everything y'all are doing from home. And another cool thing that we're seeing, and I bet there are some of y'all doing this right now too, or eventually when you're watching this, is the whole family is doing this. This is such a fun thing for not only the brothers and sisters, but moms and dads are creating with their kids too. And that is just a fun little unexpected gift of this whole thing because, you know, we've been teaching classes in the studio for a long time, and sometimes we would have, you know, times where parents would come in with kids, but usually it was just the kids in art class, and now it's the kids and the parents, and you're being able to create awesome art and create fun memories too. So we love seeing that. Love it, love it. All right, so you may have noticed I swapped brushes when I went to the smaller sizes. I swapped to a smaller brush, okay? Now, if you say, but I only have one brush, that's no big deal. You can use one brush. I just, for time's sake, I like to use a big brush on my big areas so that I'm not going back and forth on this video, getting water after every single little smidgen. But if you're just at your house, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, you can use one size brush. We never want you to think that you are limited to what you can create based on your supplies, okay? So don't think, oh, I don't have the right 2 brushes. That is not true. Because you don't really even have to be painting this if you don't want to. You can do it with color pencils or crayons or anything. Okay, so we are just about finished. I'm going to quickly add color to the edges. So I'm going to do maybe every other one pink. And then I'll come back and do the other ones with my purple. And honestly, you do not have to turn everything into watercolor. So when you're doing these flowers on the edge, you may decide, and I decided on this one, just to leave them marker, okay? Because I was thinking if I go back in with watercolor, there's a lot of possibility that all these colors are gonna start smearing together. So I just left all of this just marker, not perfectly colored in marker, just plain old marker. So you can put the marker on and then decide, do you like the way it looks or do you want to add some water? If you want to add water, be careful and only touch one color at a time, okay? So what you would not do is you would not take your brush and rub over all of this at once. If you do, it's going to turn to brown. So if you decide that you want to turn all of this into watercolor, I'll show you how to do it. But you're gonna use your small brush and it's gonna be one color at a time. So I'm just putting my green on some of this. All right, so this could be finished, but this is what I'm saying. If you want to add your water, let me see if I can zoom in just a bit. All right, somebody says they look different. They do look different. It's just because of the eye placement. That's what I was saying earlier. I placed the eyes a little high right there. Okay, so if I wanted to do this, I would take my brush and I might just do all the yellows to begin with. Okay, so I'd go all around just doing the yellows. Then I'd clean my brush and then come in and just kind of loosen up the pink. Now I would do all the pinks. Okay, now I'd go all the way around. Then I'd rinse my brush and I would do all the purples. Okay, do y'all get the flow? Then I'd rinse my brush and I would do all the greens, okay? But what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna take a brush and just paint over it like this because it would all go to kind of mush, all right? So, this is your step-by-step on your giraffe. So I'll place the other one up here too for you to see. All right, if you want to screenshot this, you totally can. That way you can kind of have it to work from. We're super proud and excited to see so many of you creating awesome art. So be sure to show us what you're making. All right, see ya.